London, midnight. Cabinet papers lie unopened as telephones ring relentlessly. A decision already moving toward consequences nobody controls. Across darkened seas, warships alter course, while diplomats exchange assurances concealing intentions that could unravel alliances overnight. In Cairo, radio broadcasts celebrate sovereignty. Elsewhere, intelligence officers study maps, sensing a confrontation rapidly approaching. No battlefield yet exists, but reputations empires, and careers already stand exposed before an unforgiving strategic test. Within guarded rooms, hesitation competes with urgency as leaders confront choices capable of permanently reshaping global influence. The Suez Crisis unfolded across Egypt during 1956 as competing powers maneuvered around strategic waterways and prestige. Strategic calculations centered upon Suez Canal control, where rapid intervention seemed capable of restoring authority quickly. Historical examination reveals how fear of decline fueled strategic arrogance, obscuring warnings and distorting judgment repeatedly. Britain remained influential, yet post-war realities increasingly challenged assumptions inherited from decades of imperial predominance worldwide. France confronted colonial unrest and mounting insecurity, viewing regional developments through lenses sharpened by recent turmoil. At the center stood Egyptian leader Gamal Abdel Nasser, projecting confidence through speeches echoing across crowded streets. The canal linked continents, carried commerce, and symbolized status. Control carried significance far beyond economics alone. Maps spread across polished tables showed shipping routes, fuel supplies, alliance commitments, and vulnerabilities stretching outward. Every calculation returned to prestige, because declining influence appeared politically dangerous for governments already facing criticism. Publicly, officials discussed stability and navigation. Privately, many worried about shrinking authority within a changing world. Nasser's nationalization announcement traveled rapidly through embassies, newspapers, radio stations, and anxious ministerial offices everywhere. The declaration struck deeper than financial concerns, touching long-standing assumptions regarding hierarchy, influence, and international standing. Advisors examined legal options, while military planners quietly reviewed deployment schedules, transportation corridors, and operational timelines. Repeated experiences managing international crises encouraged confidence that determined action could reverse unfavorable developments quickly. Memories of earlier successes lingered strongly inside institutions accustomed to commanding outcomes rather than adapting reluctantly. Each meeting reinforced perceptions that resolve remained sufficient, despite evidence suggesting global circumstances had changed substantially. Warning voices existed, yet their cautions often appeared overly cautious beside promises of decisive restoration. Photographs from Cairo showed cheering crowds. Many observers interpreted enthusiasm as temporary excitement rather than durable transformation. Distance complicated understanding, allowing assumptions to fill gaps where reliable insight remained frustratingly incomplete. Meanwhile, alliance relationships introduced additional pressures because hesitation risked appearing weak before partners and rivals. Cabinet discussions increasingly revolved around credibility, an intangible asset considered essential for maintaining broader strategic influence. Prestige became intertwined with policy, narrowing space for alternatives that might have reduced confrontation. As weeks passed, deadlines seemed closer, options seemed fewer, and confidence grew despite accumulating uncertainties. Military briefings highlighted capabilities, readiness levels, transport routes, and expected operational advantages across the region. Less attention focused upon political reactions, likely emerging after intervention, became visible to international audiences. Officials interpreted ambiguity favorably, often assuming uncertain factors would ultimately support planned objectives. But something wasn't right. Intelligence reports increasingly suggested regional sentiment favored resistance rather than compliance. Those reports circulated through bureaucratic channels, yet their implications struggled to compete with established expectations. Inside headquarters, colored markers moved across maps, creating impressions of order amid growing unpredictability. Confidence derived not only from strength, but from familiarity with methods previously producing satisfactory outcomes. History had seen this pattern before, though participants rarely recognize familiar dangers, while events remain unfolding. Secret conversations intensified between governments seeking alignment around actions difficult to justify publicly. Diplomatic rooms filled with careful language, while parallel plans advanced through military and intelligence networks. Operational concepts emphasize speed, surprise, and limited objectives designed to minimize prolonged complications. The assumption seemed straightforward. Pressure would create compliance before opposition could organize effectively. What leaders didn't realize was how differently others interpreted the same unfolding sequence of events. Nasser viewed external pressure as confirmation that resistance remained necessary for protecting sovereignty and legitimacy. Supporters rallied around national symbolism, transforming policy disputes into broader questions of independence and dignity. The warning signs were already there, visible within speeches, demonstrations, and regional political reactions. Yet planners often measured capability more carefully than motivation, producing dangerously incomplete assessments. French concerns regarding regional instability further encouraged acceptance of increasingly ambitious proposals. British leaders feared inaction might accelerate perceptions of decline, creating consequences extending beyond Egypt. Institutional momentum strengthened. Each approved step made reversal more difficult and commitment increasingly attractive. Intelligence estimates contained uncertainty, but presentations frequently emphasized favorable interpretations over troubling possibilities. Maps suggested manageable distances. Reality involved populations, perceptions, alliances, and reactions impossible to chart precisely. As coordination expanded, secrecy itself created distortions because fewer individuals examined assumptions critically. Group agreement began resembling evidence, reinforcing confidence without necessarily improving accuracy. Night meetings continued beneath dim lights, while documents circulated between ministries, embassies, and command headquarters. Naval positioning accelerated. Aircraft preparations advanced. Logistics officers tracked movement schedules across interconnected systems. Participants increasingly discussed execution rather than reconsideration, signaling a profound psychological transition. This decision would change everything, though many believed consequences would remain limited and controllable. Opponents were expected to retreat once confronted by concentrated pressure and overwhelming operational readiness. That expectation shaped planning assumptions, diplomatic messaging, and confidence regarding post-conflict arrangements. Alternative scenarios received attention, yet rarely occupied the center of strategic discussion. The possibility of wider backlash appeared secondary beside anticipated demonstrations of effectiveness and resolve. International reactions remained uncertain, but planners frequently interpreted uncertainty as potential acquiescence. Radio transmissions, coded messages, and diplomatic contacts created an atmosphere of accelerating commitment. Across ports and airfields, movement intensified as personnel prepared for operations increasingly difficult to conceal. What seemed coordinated internally appeared provocative externally, generating reactions planners underestimated significantly. Political leaders expected events to unfold according to carefully sequenced stages, already rehearsed repeatedly. Reality, however, possessed independent momentum shaped by actors beyond their direct influence. Newspaper headlines multiplied. Public debates expanded. International observers scrutinized every visible development carefully. Yet inside decision circles, urgency strengthened belief that rapid action remained essential. Delays appeared dangerous because delays invited doubt, and doubt threatened already fragile confidence. The warning signs were already there, embedded within diplomatic resistance and shifting alliance calculations. Some officials questioned assumptions privately, but institutional pressures discouraged sustained opposition. Momentum favored movement. Caution increasingly resembled obstruction rather than prudence. History had seen this pattern before, confidence expanding precisely when circumstances demanded greater restraint. Military readiness reports arrived alongside political analyses, yet operational optimism often dominated attention. Each successful preparation reinforced expectations that execution would prove equally successful. The distinction between capability and strategic wisdom gradually became blurred within planning discussions. What leaders didn't realize was that powerful allies viewed intervention through entirely different priorities. Washington evaluated risks broadly, considering global stability, credibility, and Cold War competition simultaneously. Those concerns received acknowledgement, yet many assumed disagreements would remain manageable after action succeeded. Such assumptions reduced perceived risks, while amplifying confidence regarding eventual acceptance. Meanwhile, Egyptian determination hardened further as pressure appeared increasingly visible and immediate. Crowds gathered beneath banners and speeches, transforming national resolve into a tangible political force. Intelligence officers reported these developments, but interpretation remained contested among policymakers. Some saw resilience, others saw temporary defiance, soon overwhelmed by coordinated intervention. This divergence mattered enormously because assumptions shape decisions long before outcomes appear. Transport schedules tightened as operational windows narrowed and strategic patience diminished rapidly. Weather forecasts, readiness assessments, and diplomatic developments converged into mounting deadline pressure. The environment favored action because waiting threatened carefully constructed plans and political expectations. Within command rooms, final preparations advanced beneath ticking clocks and growing anticipation. Messages crossed borders continuously, linking leaders, advisors, commanders, and intelligence services into one accelerating process. A logistical reality sharpened urgency. Synchronized military movements required immediate authorization before deployment schedules unraveled completely. Then, the turning point arrived. Leaders approved the operation, committing forces toward intervention around Egypt. The decision emerged from intertwined motives: restoring authority, protecting interests, and reversing perceived strategic erosion. Underlying assumptions remained consistent. Swift pressure would achieve objectives before serious resistance developed. Military plans moved from paper into execution as fleets sailed and aircraft prepared for action. Markers advanced across maps. Orders traveled outward. The threshold between planning and reality disappeared. For decision-makers, commitment promised regained credibility and renewed influence across a changing international landscape. Yet the same commitment eliminated flexibility, locking governments into consequences no longer easily managed. Events unfolded rapidly, but not according to expectations established during earlier deliberations. International criticism intensified. Diplomatic pressure mounted. Key partners expressed opposition rather than support. Financial pressures emerged unexpectedly, demonstrating vulnerabilities military planning alone could not address. The operation achieved tactical movement, yet broader strategic objectives proved increasingly elusive. Global audiences interpreted events differently than planners anticipated, altering the political environment dramatically. Instead of restoring authority, intervention accelerated questions regarding influence, legitimacy, and future leadership capacity. Alliance tensions deepened. Diplomatic relationships required repair. Political confidence weakened under external scrutiny. Nasser emerged politically strengthened, while intervention powers confronted uncomfortable evidence regarding changing realities. The consequences connected directly to earlier assumptions that underestimated resistance and overestimated control. Prestige anxiety had encouraged urgency. Urgency reduced caution. Reduced caution magnified strategic vulnerability. The deeper lesson extends beyond Suez. Leaders frequently confront moments where status appears threatened unexpectedly. When fear of decline combines with strategic arrogance, warnings fade, alternatives narrow, and costly commitments follow. Across history, institutions often mistake determination for leverage and confidence for accurate understanding. The Suez Crisis endures because psychology shaped strategy, and strategy shaped history through irreversible human decisions.